Question 8. Determine the implications or recommendation would most likely decrease or not change the financial market risk. तो आई थिंक वो 60% इक्विटी 40% फिक्स इनकम है एंड रिकमेंडेशन था कि आपको इक्विटी बढ़ाना चाहिए, नहीं फिक्स इनकम बढ़ाना चाहिए. लेट मी लुक एट द क्वेश्चन. वो 67 इयर्स के हैं एंड दे हैव अ 43-year-old twin daughters and they are married with children. They are planning to give their daughters cash gift for the next several years. Abhi 60% 40% and they want to increase, they have been advised to increase the allocation to the fixed income. Would have the market risk because of this? Market risk will decrease because you have to write that equity is more exposed to the market risk as compared to fixed income. Let me see what they have written over here for it. Financial market risk और volatility ये सब लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. Yeah, fine. Same thing. Allocating more to fixed income decreases the risk of significant portfolio decrease. You will simply write that equity is more riskier than debt. Longevity risk. What is longevity risk? Risk of living longer and your assets are over. The financial money that you have will be over. Truly, I got this wrong. I mentioned that this will reduce their longevity risk because I thought कि अगर वो equity में invest करते हैं और equity में अगर loss हो गया, तो अगर equity में loss हो गया, then the longevity risk would be more. But what I have mentioned is on the other side of the equity कि equity में invest किया तो return बढ़ेगा, तो longevity risk कम हो जाएगी because you have more portfolio. So I think the answer that I will get a 0 mark because I mentioned on the negative side of equity that equity will have more risk. More risk matlab more chance of losing money. More chance of losing money. Longevity risk would be more. So I don't know whether this is the only perspective that they are going to look at it, or they are going to look at my perspective also. But I go by the guideline answer. I will get a 0 marks.
So do we have to write the definition?
No, you don't have to write so much. You simply write. If you are writing this one, you have to simply write return of equity is expected to be more. Hence, portfolio value would be more. Hence, longevity risk would be lower. ये लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. Longevity risk would be lower. So, return of portfolio, sorry, return of equity would be more than return of fixed income. That's it. And hence, the portfolio value will be more.
What I mentioned was that it cannot be changed by longevity risk cannot be mitigated by just changing asset class.
So, it will. Because if you are making more risky, either the losses could be more or the gains could be higher. So it could go in any direction. Alright, so I go by their answer. I don't know whether you have to always consider this or not. I mean, can you take a note of this? I believe yes, because ये 15 वाले question actual answer में लिखा है. So understand this, you can write this in your major, in the final notes, that if you are purchasing equity, that will increase that will reduce the longevity risk should be decreased. No?
No, if you
Fixed
income allocation.
Lower return from fixed income increases. Achha, they are saying you should allocate more to fixed income. Okay. So what you can write in your notes that when you buy equity, the longevity risk would go down. The reason for that is equity has more return. I was looking at the other side. Equity has more risk of losing money. That's wrong. As per CF Institute, the equity has more return, so the longevity risk would be lower when you buy equity. So over here, 3 out of 6 marks was, 6 from 6 was also possible, but I got 3 out of 6. Discuss using only the information provided 2 reasons why investing entirely in immediate fixed annuity might not be appropriate for the rank. क्या होता है immediate fixed annuity का advantage drawback क्या होता है? Because what immediate annuity is not cancelable. It does not have a flexibility to cancel. Deferred annuity was cancelable. Fixed annuity is not cancelable. So flexibility नहीं रहेगा रैंक को. ये ड्रॉबैक हो सकता है. ये जनरल के वाला ड्रॉबैक है. केस स्टडी में देखना पड़ेगा. और सेकंड है फिक्स एन्युटी का ड्रॉबैक. पहला वाला था इमीडिएट एन्युटी का ड्रॉबैक. सेकंड है फिक्स एन्युटी का ड्रॉबैक. फिक्स एन्युटी का ड्रॉबैक है कि अगर इंटरेस्ट रेट अगर बढ़ने वाले हैं, अगर इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ने वाले हैं, then locking the rate right now does not make any sense. You can wait till the point when the interest rate increases, so that you will get higher payments from the fixed annuity plan later on. So if the interest rate right now are lower, then the immediate fixed annuity may not be appropriate. So over here they had mentioned in the first line that currently the low interest rate scenario. So to write why it is not appropriate, because currently the interest rates are lower, currently the payments would be lower. So why it is not appropriate? Because currently the low interest rates would mean that current payments, the current fixed payments on that annuity would be lower. And second point, he is going to give some gift or something. Considers nahi.
The objective of inflation protection is not
In rising inflation.
Inflation, अच्छा rising inflation ये point मैंने miss किया है, मैंने answer देख के मुझे पता चला कि when the inflation is rising, then the fixed payments are not inflation index. So it could be inflation index in reality, but normally in the CFA syllabus they have not mentioned that the fixed payments would be inflation index. It's like a nominal bond.
This will be lost upside of the tax.
Purchasing power, not right upside. Purchasing power. So this would lead to purchasing power going down because the payments of the annuity are not inflation index. And कहीं भी वो गिफ्ट वाला पॉइंट मुझे देखा है, ऑब्जेक्टिव ऊपर वाले में लिखा है, यहाँ पे लिखा है Ryan asked Hamilton if he should make any changes to his portfolio for his gifting plan. तो gifting यहाँ पे लिखा है, he is planning to gift his daughter annual cash gift. Now understand, when he is converting his portfolio into annuity, he can gift the annual cash gift only from that annuity. Whereas earlier he could have gifted them whatever he wants. Now the constraint would be he can gift only from the annuity because annuity is not cancelable. So there would be constraint on the amount of annual gift that he can give. So I would get 2 marks. I'm saying 2 marks easily were possible because of identifying this low interest rate. Inflation वाला point पे अगर आपने identify किया, then you will get 4 on 4. You have to write this inflation वाले point के लिए that annuity payments are not inflation index. अगर ये point नहीं लिखा है तो 1 mark cut करो. I repeat, annuity payments are not inflation index. That point is required. Otherwise you get 3 on 4. And regarding gift, wala point you can write that when you convert your portfolio into annuity, there could be limitations on the gift because gift can be given only from the annuity payments. And generally you can write annuity payments is non-cancelable, so it does not give you flexibility that will affect the gift wala part. So maybe I make it 3 on 4 because I mentioned current interest rate wala point perfectly, and I mentioned that annuity does not have a flexibility, but I did not connect that point with the gift making capability. So when I have a portfolio with me, I have flexibility of giving whatever gift I want to give. But when I convert that into annuity, my portfolio is down to 0. So I can only gift to the extent of annuity what I am receiving. Second drawback, जो normal drawback लिख सकते हैं कि now you are exposed to the credit risk of the company whose annuity you have purchased. अगर एक गवर्नमेंट है तो मत लिखना ये पॉइंट. लिखा है गवर्नमेंट वाला है annuity? नहीं. Then you can write this point, third point, that you are now exposed. Earlier you were not exposed to anything. It was your own portfolio. Now you have given your money to someone who is going to give you annuity. If that someone goes bankrupt, then your money gone. So you can write this point that now you are exposed to the credit risk of that entity जिससे आपने annuity purchase किया. So that's third point you can very well write. So why it is not appropriate? Because now you may be, but that's a drawback that can't be said related to case study. नहीं, but case study में ये भी नहीं mention किया कि government है. You can write this point कि you are exposed to the credit risk of the company जिसका annuity आपने purchase किया है. Interest rates are lower, so the annuity payments would be lower. And inflation is rising, and the annuity payments are not inflation index. That's what flexibility won't be there, or it will be credit risk of the entity जिससे उसने annuity purchase की है. I'm saying 3 on 4, but for some of you could get 4 on 4. Kelly works for the local. Later in the same है. Identify one factor that indicates Deborah's less life insurance for Kelly. ये काफी easy question था. 6 on 6 में easy. कि डेबरा को कम इंश्योरेंस क्यों चाहिए? So Deborah works for a financial services company which is non-government. You have to write this, that is non-government. And secondly, her bonus is she receives a bonus which is related to performance. So you can just write her salary is volatile. Her salary is volatile and coming from a non-government employer which means that the risk is higher, which means that the discount rate is higher, which means that the human capital is lower.
Sir, we can imagine human capital is equity like. So there will be higher
Fine.
discount rate applied.
Human capital equity like would fetch a correct answer. So I repeat, she works for a non-government company. Her salary is not fixed. Her salary is linked to the bonus. Hence salary is volatile, and hence the requirement, hence the discount rate would be higher. And because the discount rate is higher, human capital is lower. Human capital is lower, so the need would be lower. And second, उसी के ऊपर क्वेश्चन पूछा है, why does she need more life insurance? तो इस केस में you need to quote her salary. Her salary is higher compared to Kelly, which is 75. Her salary is higher compared to Kelly, and because her salary is higher, the human capital would be higher, and hence insurance would be higher.
And Kelly does not have book to value.
Yeah, that's the third point. So I'll repeat. The first point was the Deborah works for a risky company and her salary is volatile, whereas Kelly works for a government job and her salary is stable. So compared to Kelly, the discount rate for Deborah is more, human capital is lesser, insurance required is lesser. And for the second question, why does she need more insurance? Because compared to Kelly, her salary is 25,000 higher. Her salary is higher, human capital is higher, she needs more insurance. थर्ड पॉइंट अगर लिखना है तो लिखने की जरूरत नहीं थी, बट अगर ये जो पॉइंट है मोर लाइफ इंश्योरेंस कैन आल्सो राइट कि डेब्रा के पास फिनेंशियल कैपिटल कम है कंपेयर टू केली. The Deborah has lesser of financial capital, and because she has lesser of financial capital, she has a lesser of backup plan. And because she has a lesser of backup plan, she needs to purchase more insurance because she has lesser of financial capital. Yes. Yes.
So, can you please explain again? Human capital is more. How does that make life insurance?
Life insurance is replacing human capital. If the human capital is more, life insurance need is more.
Okay.
So for the
That's the
yeah. So 6 marks were easily pocketable. Quite easy. ये 6 mark काफी easy थे. ये 4 में से मैंने 3 पकड़े, 2 पकड़ता हूँ, 6. Financial market risk, longevity risk, ये 2 तो possible थे easily. Longevity risk, I lost that. ये 3 possible थे, sorry. So 3 plus 2 6, sorry 5, 3 plus 2 5, 5 plus 6 11. 11 out of 16.